You think being nice makes people respect you. You think saying yes to everything makes you valuable. You think avoiding conflict keeps you safe. But here's the brutal truth nobody wants to tell you. Every time you say yes when you mean no, you're teaching people that your time, your energy, and your life don't matter. And the worst part, they're listening. But what if I told you that the word no isn't just a rejection, it's a declaration of your worth? What if the very thing you've been avoiding could be the key to transforming every relationship in your life? Today, we're diving deep into the psychology of boundaries and why your inability to say no is slowly destroying everything you care about. Most people live their entire lives as prisoners of their own politeness. They say yes when they mean no, they smile when they're screaming inside, and they wonder why they feel exhausted, resentful, and invisible. Here's what nobody tells you about boundaries. They're not walls to keep people out, they're gates that let the right people in. The word no isn't cruel, it's clarifying. It's not selfish, it's self-preserving. And it's not rude, it's respectful to both yourself and others. But here's something that will make you question every yes you've ever said when you meant no. People-pleasing isn't kindness, it's fear disguised as generosity. When you constantly say yes to avoid conflict, disappointment, or rejection, you're not being nice. Now, you're being dishonest. You're lying about your capacity, your desires, and your limits. This behavior often stems from childhood conditioning. Maybe you learned that love was conditional on being good, which meant being agreeable, helpful, and never causing problems. But here's the brutal truth. That child's survival strategy is now sabotaging your adult relationships. Research in psychology shows that people pleasers are often seen as less trustworthy, not more. Why? Because others sense the inauthenticity. They can feel that your yes doesn't come from genuine enthusiasm, but from obligation or fear. But here's where it gets really uncomfortable, and this is the part that most people refuse to acknowledge. Every time you say yes when you mean no, you're not just giving away your time, you're giving away pieces of your soul. You're teaching people that your needs don't matter, your time isn't valuable, and your feelings are irrelevant. Weak boundaries create a toxic cycle. The more you say yes to things you don't want to do, the more resentful you become. The more resentful you become, the more passive-aggressive your behavior gets. And passive aggression destroys relationships faster than honest conflict ever could. Here's a perfect example. You agree to help a friend move for the 3rd time this year, even though you're exhausted. You show up, but you're irritated, short-tempered, and clearly don't want to be there. Your friend senses this and feels guilty for asking. Now both of you feel bad, and the relationship is damaged, all because you couldn't say a simple no. Now, let's talk about something that will completely flip your understanding of what it means to care about someone. When you say no to something you don't want to do, you're not being selfish, you're being honest. And honesty is the foundation of every healthy relationship. When you say yes from a place of genuine desire rather than obligation, your presence becomes a gift, not a burden. Authentic relationships require authentic communication. When you consistently say yes when you mean no, you're robbing others of the opportunity to know the real you. You're also robbing yourself of the chance to be truly appreciated for who you are, not just what you do. Here's something that will transform how you think about every request that comes your way. Saying no isn't about being difficult or uncooperative. It's about being strategic with your most precious resources, your time, energy, and attention. Every yes to one thing is a no to something else. The question is, are you choosing consciously or just reacting automatically? Before saying yes to anything, ask yourself 3 questions. Do I want to do this? Do I have the capacity to do this well? Does this align with my values and priorities? If the answer to any of these is no, then your answer should be no. The word no isn't just a word, it's a complete sentence. It's a declaration of your worth, a protection of your peace, and a pathway to authentic relationships. So, when you learn to say no to what doesn't serve you, you create space for what does. Remember, boundaries aren't about building walls, they're about building respect. They're not about pushing people away, they're about attracting the right people closer. And they're not about being mean, they're about being real. But here's the part that changes everything, the practical tools that will help you implement this in real life. Most people fail at boundary setting because they try to go from people pleaser to boundary setter overnight. That's like trying to run a marathon when you've never jogged around the block. Start small and build your boundary setting muscle gradually. Each time you say no to something small, you're building the confidence and skill to say no to bigger things later. Here are the practical strategies that will transform your life. Use the phrase, "let me think about it," to buy yourself time. Offer alternatives when possible. I can't do X, but I could do Y. Be direct but kind. I won't be able to help with that. And never over-explain or justify your no, it weakens your position. Instead of saying, "I'm so sorry, I wish I could help, but I'm just so busy and stressed and I feel terrible about it," try saying, "Doc, I won't be able to help with that, but I hope it goes well." As you practice setting boundaries, something magical happens. You stop feeling guilty about having needs. You stop apologizing for having limits. You start attracting people who respect your boundaries rather than those who try to violate them. The people who truly care about you will respect your boundaries. Those who don't respect your boundaries don't truly care about you. They care about what you can do for them. And that's a distinction worth making. Your time is finite, your energy is precious, your peace is priceless. But stop giving these away to anyone who asks. Start protecting them like the treasures they are. Your boundaries aren't barriers to connection, they're the foundation of genuine relationships. Start building them today and watch how your entire world transforms. What we've covered today is just the beginning. The video appearing on your screen right now shows you the next crucial step in your transformation. Don't let this momentum die. Click on that video and take the next step. Your future self will thank you. I'll see you there.